Mary was an 8-year-old girl whose mother spent her days smoking and drinking. Her father preferred the company of his bird specimens. Lonely Mary desperately wanted a sibling, but her mother said she herself was an accident. Mary couldn't understand how a living person could be an accident, until her grandfather told her that adults find children in wine glasses. Her mother often borrowed things from stores, stuffing items under her skirt and telling Mary they were saving plastic bags this way. One day, while her mother was borrowing envelopes from the post office, bored Mary flipped through a nearby phone book, imagining the people behind the names. Suddenly, Mary had an idea. She wanted to know how children in other countries were born. She chose someone named Marx and wrote him a letter from under her blanket. Mary described her family, her pet Aesop, her favorite foods, condensed milk and chocolate, and her favorite cartoon The Arnos. She asked Marx how American children were born and included a drawing of herself. Several days later, Marx received the letter in New York. He had just attended an overreaders meeting, weighing over 300 pounds. Though 46 years old, Marx still couldn't understand other people's thoughts. Flirting was as foreign to him as exercise, so when someone left lipstick marks on his face, his only response was confusion. Like Mary, he loved watching The Arnos, envying how the characters had so many friends while he remained alone. He read Mary's letter carefully 4 times, then hid in a corner breathing heavily, his typical response to new, stressful situations. After staring out the window for 17 hours, Marx finally found the courage to respond. His fingers danced across the typewriter as he anxiously shared his life story. His father had left after his birth, and his mother committed suicide when he was 6. Lonely from childhood, Marx had created an imaginary friend named Polly, though his therapist discouraged this, so now Polly stayed in the corner. Like Mary, he loved chocolate and kept many pets to ease his loneliness, though they didn't truly fill the void. What he needed was a real friend. Last week, Marx had collected 128 cigarette butts, unable to understand why people littered. He always wore identical tracksuits and had bought the same lottery number for 9 years without winning once. Though he'd had many jobs, his favorite was garbage collecting because it required no human interaction. When bored, he pretended to be a robot, once scaring a neighbor into calling the police.
One time, the police took me in for questioning, but let me go when they decided I wasn't a threat to anybody, except myself.
Though Marx struggled to understand most humans, he trusted Mary because they were so similar. Not knowing how children were born either, he simply repeated what his mother had told him, that American children hatched from eggs. He included his photo with the letter. 10 days and 7 hours later, Mary's mother intercepted the letter and became furious, refusing to let this madman become her daughter's pen pal. As she was about to throw it away with the trash, she slipped and fell. Aesop grabbed the letter in his mouth, and Mary hid it away. That night, she excitedly read every word and wrote back on butcher paper. Knowing her mother disapproved, she used her neighbor's address. Ryan was a war veteran who had lost both legs and developed panic disorder, afraid to leave his home. He paid Mary 50 cents weekly to bring in his mail.